Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video of Fox Flicks on the Food Series. Today we're checking out how people can apparently sweat Gatorade if they drink enough of it. I thought only Family Guy made a joke of that, but maybe it's real. Let's check it out. What did you dig up, Matt Pat?
Did you know that your skin can turn orange if you have too many carrots? It's true. If you eat 10 carrots a day for a couple of weeks, you can start to develop what's known as carotenemia, a condition where your skin starts to turn a yellowish orange. And this isn't just limited to carrots either. Apricots, mangoes, squash, yams, basically anything that's high in beta-carotene can change the color of your skin. On an unrelated note, you think if I drink enough Gatorade, I could get glowing sweat?
Well, about to see. But does Gatorade glow? I don't think it does. And if your Gatorade glows, then I think you're not drinking Gatorade.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, the show that's full of electrolytes, carbolites, hydrolytes, more lights than your body has room for.
Every kind of light.
Gatorade, the salty sports beverage with questionable health benefits. You see, Gatorade was developed in 1965 when a team of researchers at the University of Florida needed a drink for athletes stuck working out in the Florida heat. You get it? Florida, Gatorade? Makes sense, right? Anyway, here's their first ever commercial.
Mom, Gatorade tastes so good it makes you glad you get thirsty.
Gatorade, the big thirst quencher for active people.
Not bad.
Nothing says thirst quenching quite like a big ol' splash of salty ocean water. Basically, what made Gatorade stand out from the crowd and really pioneer the field of sports drinks was the claim that it could replenish lost electrolytes like sodium, calcium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, and magnesium. And that's a good thing, right? Those are scientific-y words. Must be helpful to my body. And yeah, it is. You know when your mom said that you needed vitamins and minerals? Well, electrolytes are the minerals. In the simplest terms, electrolytes are ions that help transport molecules into and out of cells to keep them pumping and giving you energy. Basically, they're the glorified chaperones for all the molecules in your body, helping them arrive safely to their final destination. Without electrolytes, we would die. So Gatorade, with all its electrolytes must be the liquid of life, right? Not really. Most people already get plenty of electrolytes from their usual diet. So unless you're like a literal marathon runner, these things aren't making a big difference for you. But at least Gatorade gets you extra hydrated, right? Again, Gatorade hydrates your body to the same degree as water. Where Gatorade does have water beat is in added sugars. A 12-ounce bottle has as much sugar as a large Kit Kat bar, or half a can of soda. More than half an adult's recommended daily sugar intake. So drinking one after a solid workout is a great way to, you know, add back on all the calories that you just burned off. So if the hydration, sugar, and electrolytes that drinking Gatorade gives you aren't much to talk about, why are we here? Well, you know what is worth talking about? Colored sweat. Drink enough Gatorade and your body is gonna start lighting up like a glow stick at a rave party. At least as long as you believe the commercials. You see, in 1998, the company started using the slogan, "Is it in you?" with commercials that featured athletes with all sorts of glowing bodily fluids. Fierce grape, sweat. Green apple, tears. Arctic blitz, blue blood. Eventually, they figured out that equating their product to drinking blood and tears probably wasn't the best idea, so future ads just focused on the sweat aspect. Still gross, but much less gross. And that neat little visual effect has been a core part of the brand ever since. And you know what? I might not be a star athlete. I might not have done a jumping jack since 7th grade, but gosh darn it, I want to turn into a human glow stick. I want to excrete the highlighter yellow Food Theory color straight out of my pores. Is there any way on earth that this is possible? Could you consume enough Gatorade that you'd sweat multicolored radioactive waste? Sure, it's in us.
I mean,
the
hell,
question
if you
is,
drink
does it
silver,
come
you turn
out of
blue.
us? Can science figure out a way to turn my rainbow sweat dreams into a reality? Today we're analyzing what's inside of Gatorade and what's inside your body to see what it would take for you to be coated in a fine layer of Riptide Rush. Now, before I start chugging Gatorade and forcing Team Theorist to play pickup basketball against me...
Matt, I'm very sick right now. I can't play basketball.
Oh, no one.
Let's start talking about the science of sweat to see just how exactly we're able to push liquid out of our bodies. Sweating, the process that we've evolved to help the body cool itself down, happens through the 2.6 million sweat glands the average person has. These things are all over our bodies, except for the lips, the nips, and the bathroom-only zones. At a very basic level, sweat comes from excess fluid in the blood vessels near the surface of your skin that then gets sent out to your pores and then out to the surface of your skin where it evaporates to cool you down. So in order for our neon blue Gatorade to make it into our sweat, it has to have itself itself a long journey. It needs to make it into our stomach, through our digestive system, into the bloodstream, up to the surface of our skin before it's finally booted out through our forehead or wherever. But already you can start to see a glimmer of hope for this theory. Like I said up top, one of the main draws of Gatorade is that it contains electrolytes, these little ion salts that are contained in your sweat. This is why when you lick your sweat or get some in your mouth, it tastes like salt water. So if the electrolytes inside a Gatorade can somehow make it there, can the rest of the Gatorade do it too? What other connections exist between sweat and food? Have you ever heard of meat sweats? Well, they're exactly what they sound like.
Yeah,
you go to a Brazilian steakhouse or Korean barbecue and eat an inhuman amount of meat to get your money's worth.
And we're back.
Presumably because he saw our episode on how to beat the buffet. But then
you
start to sweat.
Video.
Something about eating that much meat makes you sweat a lot, sometimes up to 3 to 5 hours after a meal like this. And it turns out, anytime you eat something, your body actually burns calories just to digest the food that's coming in. The energy your body uses to digest food in the system is called diet-induced thermogenesis. And when you eat proteins, the energy that you need to process those are pretty significant. So while your body works hard to break down the protein, it overheats, which then leads to the sweating. That being said, though, we're not exactly sweating out meat, so this only halfway helps us. It shows us that different types of food can make us produce more sweat, but can the food that we're eating fundamentally change our sweat? Well, yeah, actually. The food we eat has been shown to affect the smell of our sweat. The most common example of this is garlic, which when chopped releases the compound allicin. That then breaks down into allyl methyl sulfide, or AMS, which not only causes your breath to smell, but also seeps into your bloodstream, thereby causing both your sweat and pee to be more odoriferous. And I can actually speak to this one firsthand. As a kid, I had really bad allergies, and I was diagnosed with these super concentrated garlic pills to try and help me. Let me tell you, it did nothing for the allergies, but it did wonders for keeping people as far away from me as possible for a few months out of 4th grade. Anyway, well, that was certainly bad news for my social life. It was good news for us today because it means that we can change the chemistry of sweat purely based on the things that we eat. So, if we can change the smell of sweat, then surely we can change the color as well. Right? Well, thanks to food manufacturers and the FDA, we have a lot of colors to choose from. A number of well-known color additives can survive the digestion process, and several can manage to make it out the other side. Just, maybe not the other side that we're hoping for here. Take, for instance, red dye number 2 and number 3. Back in 1971, these dyes gave Frankenberry cereal its unusual pink color. They also managed to give kids' poos an unusual pink color. And as you might imagine, red in the bowl during toilet time is not a color that you want to see. It was enough to cause even a 1970s parent to freak out. And that's saying a lot when you consider that they were still comfortable sitting kids on their laps in the front seat of the car. And that's not all. Not to be outdone, Frankenberry's Halloween cereal companion Boo Berry was turning poop unusual colors too. Here, it was green thanks to blue dye number 1. And we're not just talking about decades-old cereals here either. More recently, Burger King customers had quite a scare as seasonal Halloween Whoppers turned customers poop green as well, as the black buns used a concentrated dye that came out green at the other end. In summary, if it's Halloween, your poop is gonna have itself a bad time. There have even been online challenges like the 2020 Blue Poop Challenge, where people devoured blue muffins in a race to get blue out the other end as fast as possible. I mean, it was 2020. Guess you had to do something after you finished watching Tiger King. Anyway, I think I've made it perfectly clear at this point. There are ways to change the color of your poop, but can it be done with your sweat? That one's actually trickier than you might think. You see, to change the color of your poop, you basically need the body to not want to use that dye for anything else. Remember, at the end of the day, the stuff that you poop out is the stuff that your body has no other use for, or that it couldn't physically break down. Corn, vegetable skins, that Lego minifig that you accidentally swallowed. On the other hand, things that your body does have use for get cleaved apart, broken down, and sent to different parts of the body where they get used in very teeny tiny pieces. This is actually how our garlic example ends up affecting sweat. To get stinky garlic into your sweat, the body breaks it down a lot. That AMS molecule that gets into your sweat is tiny, very soluble, and your body has already put it through the ringer. Color molecules cannot possibly survive a process like that. What makes a dye is the fact that its molecular structure absorbs and reflects different wavelengths of light. This is what gives everything color all around you. Different molecules have different shapes and configurations, which then gives them different colors. But you ever stop to wonder what the color part of a molecule actually is? Well, dye molecules all have a very special chunk called a chromophore. This is essentially a part of
that?
molecule that reflects the color light that we want to see. As long as the chromophore stays intact, the molecule still has a color. Lose it, or get it broken off somewhere during digestion, and suddenly the color is gone. Let's take, for instance, Food Dye Blue 1, or Brilliant Blue FCF, the blue color that gives Blue Raspberry Jolly Ranchers and Blue Gatorade their colors. This is considered to be one of the safest and most stable blue dye molecules for food. So if we're trying to sweat like a Smurf, this is going to be a good choice for us because it holds up the body better than most other dyes. The rings disperse throughout this molecule, as well as the highly ionic ends, the red bits with the purple floating molecules next door. They're the parts that keep this molecule looking blue to our eyes. These are the chromophore. Now, 95% of Brilliant Blue FCF goes straight through your intestines and out the other end. Hello, blue poop challenge. This polar molecule doesn't get broken down in your stomach acid, doesn't mix with your nice non-polar organic molecules and fat, and basically gets rejected at every port of call inside your body. This is good in a lot of ways. It means that it can't get into your body and do a bunch of stuff that it's not supposed to do. This is a lot of what makes the dye non-toxic, but it also makes it hard for our purposes today. Unlike the electrolytes in Gatorade, which the body sees and says, yes please to, the dyes in Gatorade are ignored and passed along into the toilet. The body doesn't want them because it has no use for them. That said, the dye is stable enough to last for a while, even in your bloodstream. Brilliant Blue FCF is currently considered non-toxic enough that you can apply some to your tongue and have it absorbed directly into your blood, which is what's happening when you suck on a blue Jolly Rancher and it leaves your tongue blue. Doctors actually use this phenomenon to identify areas of the body that might need attention. Brilliant Blue FCF can help surgeons identify surgical markers that make their surgical cuts more precise, all without the dye reacting in the body or damaging anything. This seems like it should be really good news. We found one of the most stable dyes, we got it into our bloodstream without significant toxicity. It seems like we're just one step away from it oozing out of our pores. So what's the holdup here? Well, the amount of dye that you absorb into your blood through a blue Jolly Rancher or a blue Gatorade is minuscule. Even if you somehow managed to drink 100 Gatorades, which would make you sick for plenty of other reasons, it wouldn't give you enough of a concentration of the stuff to make you sweat. Right now, these dyes are designed to go through your intestines and be gone. They're not designed to be injected into your bloodstream, which is kind of what needs to happen if you want that blue dye to incorporate into your sweat. But most importantly, we don't know what those synthetic dyes might do or stop your body from doing when they're in your blood in that high of a concentration. All those electrolytes, the ones floating around in your blood that exist in Gatorade, like sodium chloride and calcium, those are critical for just about every major function of your cells. So when there's another big ol' ion like Brilliant Blue FCF in there with them, it has the potential to become a big problem, maybe even stopping your cell's respiration process and killing them. The concentration of Brilliant Blue FCF that you would need in your blood to even start to make it through to your sweat would presumably be so high that there's no way your cells and bloodstream would go undamaged in the process. You would likely die.
Yeah, you would just kill yourself if you wanted to sweat
Gatorade before the stuff ever made it to your sweat glands. We just don't have enough information to know just how dangerous that might be yet. That said, there still may be hope here, friends. If you feel that you just can't get your head in the game without rainbows shooting out of your pores, you might want to hold on for science. Because of how unreactive and relatively safe Brilliant Blue FCF dye is, medical researchers have actually been working to develop medications that use this dye and its sister dye, Kumasi Blue, which, now that I say it out loud, sounds like a paint color that Bob Ross would use for a happy little stream. There's over a decade of research already on the use of Kumasi Blue to treat mice with spinal injuries because it helps to reduce inflammation within their bodies. It also turns their bodies blue in the process. Blue skin, blue blood, and that translates to blue sweat. Admittedly, we're still a ways away from human use, but looks to me like that one right there might be our best bet. Lastly, this one isn't food or Gatorade related, but there is a rare medical condition that causes a person to have colorful black, blue, green, yellow, or brown sweat. It's called chromidrosis. It's completely benign, and it's the only real example that I could find of colored sweat. And truth be told, now that I've seen pictures of real colored sweat, yeah, it's not as cool as the Gatorade commercials would have you believe. Go figure. So there you have it, friends. No amount of drinking Gatorade is going to give you glowing, colorful sweat. You can find ways of injecting concentrated amounts of dye into your bloodstream, but that's going to be super dangerous and have itself some unintended consequences. Maybe one day we'll get ourselves some Kumasi Blue medical treatments, but that still remains to be seen. And while there's certainly a medical condition that can change the color of your sweat, the results aren't going to be making you popular at raves anytime soon. I guess that just leaves us with one final option, sticking with turning our poop blue instead, the way it was always meant to be. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit. Speaking of weird food color...
Hold on, what you got, Matt Pat?
You want to watch me make a Mountain Dew pizza? It's unusually green and unusually caffeinated. Also, consider
Okay, I remember that video. So, that is what we're gonna end off today's video. I want you all to remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see all you folks next time. Oh wait, before we leave off, I almost forgot to say, link to the original video will be in the description below, so remember to check out the original creator and all they do, and I'll see all you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.